The following video is intended for mature audiences. It contains horror elements, adult themes, and language that might not be suitable for younger viewers. Welcome back to another disturbing journey in the southern underworld. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like, comment, subscribe, and share this devilish delight with your horror friends and fam. Engagement is essential, and it helps our little channel grow. In the crushing depths of the ocean, where silence reigns supreme, there lies a truth as ancient as the sea itself. Some things are better left undiscovered. But try telling that to Lena Reeves, a woman whose curiosity runs as deep as the trenches she explores. Armed with a state-of-the-art submersible and a crew of experts, she's about to learn that in the pitch-black world of the deep, ignorance isn't just bliss, it's survival. Welcome to a tale where the pressure isn't just physical, and the real monsters aren't confined to legends. Here, in the watery tomb of the SS Orpheus, history doesn't just repeat itself, it mutates. As you dive into this story, remember, in these depths, madness is catching, sanity is optional, and that isn't seaweed brushing against your ankle. Deep descent. Lena Reeves, the seasoned captain of a deep-sea expedition team, squinted into the inky depths through the submersible's thick glass portal. The vessel's halogen beams sliced through the abyss, highlighting a hulking shape resting on the ocean floor. Her lips curled into a grim smile as she murmured, "The SS Orpheus," her breath fogging the window pane. A chill seeped into her bones, but it was nothing compared to the thrill coursing her veins. Beside her, Dr. Nate Chen leaned closer to the window, his dark eyes gleaming with anticipation under his spectacles. His voice barely more than a whisper. He exhaled a sigh of relief and said, "At last." Months of relentless research and countless sleepless nights had led them to this precise location, the final resting place of the Orpheus. A ship that mysteriously vanished in 1939, carrying invaluable artifacts from a bygone era. It lay hidden beneath 2 miles of crushing sea pressure and darkness. As they maneuvered the submersible toward the forsaken wreck, Lena observed clouds of silt swirling around them, like ghostly apparitions before melting into nothingness. Nate gasped at an enormous gash torn across Orpheus's rust-eaten hull, the edges jagged and cruel, resembling monstrous claw marks. He turned wide-eyed to Lena and asked, "What could have caused this?" Lena shrugged, her gaze fixed on the colossal wound before them. "Let's inch closer," she suggested, "and use our robotic arms for a thorough examination." With deft precision, they navigated the submersible alongside Orpheus's spectral silhouette as Jake Thompson, their communications officer, operated the robotic arms with high-resolution cameras and state-of-the-art sampling tools. The cameras revealed once opulent corridors, now overrun by seaweed and coral formations, clinging to the rusted railings. Schools of fish darted away from the intrusive lights as they delved deeper into the ship. Cargo doors hung askew, and the crates scattered across rotting floors were chilling reminders of a long-forgotten time. A large figure looming in the gloom startled Nate. It was a statue, a bronze representation of Cthulhu with an octopus head. They ventured further into the ship's interior, where Jake used one robotic arm to lift a golden disc etched with cryptic symbols. "Sumerian," Nate whispered, the breath hitching in his throat. Suddenly, Lena's attention was diverted by a faint sound, an eerie, yet captivating melody that seemed to echo from the ship itself. An overwhelming urge seized her to open the hatch and let the sea claim them. Nate's hand shot out, gripping her arm, pulling her back from danger. His eyes were wide with fear as he shouted, "Lena! No!" Shaking off the strange compulsion, she commanded, "Let's salvage what we can and get out of here." They employed the robotic arms to meticulously collect artifacts, storing them securely in the submersible's external compartments. As Jake delicately handled another golden disc, a hissing noise filled their ears. The surface team's panicked voices cut through static before abruptly going silent. Lena and Nate shared a glance, their eyes reflecting the same fear intensified by the eerie glow of the water. The ascent protocol was activated, but the controls failed to respond. Jake's eyes darted around the room, desperately searching for an escape route that wasn't there. He swallowed hard, then said, "We're trapped," each word carrying the weight of their dire situation. Lena shook her head. "We need to conserve power and oxygen. Let's shut down non-essential systems and wait for rescue." The submersible shuddered violently, its metallic skeleton groaning under the invisible strain of the deep sea pressure. What was that? Jake's inquiry floated in the claustrophobic cabin, his voice a whisper against the steady hum of the machinery. Outside their tiny porthole, an indistinct figure took form in the inky blackness. A silhouette emerged from the void, its features concealed by a writhing mass of tentacles that danced like serpents in slow motion. Nate let out a strangled cry. Lena fought to keep her rising terror at bay. "It's not real," she forced out through gritted teeth. "We're suffering from oxygen deprivation. It's playing wicked games with our perception." But as she spoke, the phantom shape outside grew larger, its shadowy form enveloping their vessel like a monstrous predator closing in on its prey. The last thing Lena remembered was an eerie sensation, as if those imagined tentacles were drilling into her mind, sowing seeds of madness before everything plunged into darkness. When she jerked awake later, she found herself cocooned within the sterile confines of a decompression chamber. Nate sat beside her, his face etched with fatigue, but tinged with a palpable relief. He narrated their ordeal, how a carbon monoxide leak had induced hallucinations just moments before they were rescued from their faltering vessel deep beneath the ocean surface. "We're safe now, so you just rest well," Nate intoned, the words dripping with a sinister undertone reverberating around them. He stood, the creak of the chair sounding in the quiet room. Lena's gaze fell upon the anomaly on his neck, an area of skin that didn't quite blend with its surroundings. It caught and reflected the meager light in the room, creating an eerie luminescence. The patch of skin reminded her more of fish scales than human flesh. The sight sent a shiver down her spine, the icy fingers tracing their way down her back. The taste of fear hung in the back of her throat, the sensation metallic and sharp. Nate's eyes flickered, reflecting an almost reptilian quality. They glowed briefly with an unholy light that hinted at something otherworldly lurking beneath his human shell. His pupils narrowed into vertical slits before reverting to their usual round shape. In that fleeting moment, Lena felt a wave of nausea roll over her stomach. His scent changed too, the comforting smell of soap and warmth becoming the stench of something primal and unsettling. She blinked rapidly and swallowed hard, attempting to process what was happening. A heavy weight settled in her stomach, and unease gnawed at her gut. For a brief, terrifying moment, she glimpsed something monstrous hidden beneath Nate's human-like exterior. Lena didn't dare move, rooted to the place she lay, her heart pounding against her ribcage. As his neck slowly returned to normal, Lena couldn't help but wonder what secrets Nate had brought back with him from the dark depths below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Thank you for watching.